And welcome back, everybody. So, this is part 2 in our little Pong tutorial and the general how to make games using JavaScript and HTML. So, in our last video, we went ahead and did our onload function and our draw everything function, and we got a quote-unquote ball to move, as we can see here. But we're running into a problem. It goes off the screen. In Pong, the ball bounces. So we'll need to get that to bounce. But before we do that, we need to do a couple things. We need to clean up our code. It doesn't really make any sense to have our code that moves the ball in the draw everything function, because it's supposed to only draw everything. It's not supposed to move. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new function called move everything. Okay, so now that we have our move everything function, we'll go ahead and move this ball movement, clean that up. Okay, now that we have our move everything function, we have a problem. Our set interval only calls draw everything, but it only can accept one function. Well, just like the Windows onload function, how we did the Windows onload function, we can actually put a function inside a function. I know, function inception. Alright, so go ahead and do that. We will do a call to draw everything rather than passing the actual draw everything function. But we want to call the move everything first before the draw everything. Otherwise, you will draw and then move, draw and then move, and you'll get some weird lag-like issues. Okay, then we'll also go ahead and clean our interval function up by creating a frames per second variable. We'll do 30 frames a second, and we'll change this to 1000 divided by our frames per second. Well, frames, not frame, per second. And take out this comma. Okay, so what this will let us do is it lets us determine how much frames per second we want by a factor of 1000. Okay, so now that we've done some work, we want to check if our work doesn't cause any errors. And sure enough, it doesn't. Cool. So now we actually get to the... Now we can get to the actual problem. Okay, so our ball needs to bounce in the opposite direction once it's reached either the start or the end of our screen. So we want it to bounce here and here. Okay, well, we'll need a ball speed variable, and of course this determines the speed of our ball. Wow. Okay, so we'll give it the ball speed. We'll give a ball speed x a value of 10. So we'll go 10 pixels or 10 x's every time, and then instead of ball x equals ball x plus 5, we can use our little little ball speed x, and we can even do our little shortcut for plus equals. Okay, so now we can deal with the quote-unquote bouncing of the ball. Well, if the ball x is less than 0, it means if the ball suddenly goes on, behind our little border, we want it to go the opposite way. And we do that by changing our speed. And we can do that by setting our ball speed to negative ball speed x. And so it will change direction as soon as it hits the edge of our screen. And then we also want to deal with this side of the screen. So then that is simply a ball x is greater than our canvas width. Okay, so our ball speed x now needs to as well change the sign. So once it hits this wall, the speed changes, the speed sign changes, and so now it goes the opposite direction. Okay, so since we've made substantial changes in our code, we want to test our code. There we go. Everything was good. Our ball now bounces. And so, that is all for this video on our part 2. Tune in for part 3 for what we're gonna do next. Alright.